Next on Q, dozens of bicycle riders moving through Pittsburgh traffic, keeping police on alert. What are these bike riders trying to prove, and why do they call themselves the Critical Mass? You'll find out coming up next. And we're headed back to Library, Pennsylvania to catch up with the newly crowned world champion Modernettes. It's coming up, so stay connected. Welcome to OnQ Magazine. I'm Stacy Smith. When OnQ goes out to cover a story, there is always the possibility that something that wasn't planned might happen. And for our student interns, they learned that firsthand. Every semester, we hire a select group of college students to assist our staff. They're also given the opportunity to produce their own segment for broadcast. And this semester, the interns had an unexpected experience that really put them to the test. They were covering the activities of an organization called Critical Mass, a large group of bicyclists who ride through city streets to raise motor vehicle awareness and to essentially establish their place on the road. But a normally peaceful ride turned into a true critical mass, and our interns were there to cover it.
Hey, anybody want to go for a bike ride?
Everybody else will give you an official order to disperse. Disperse now, or I'll have 100 cars will place you all in custody for blocking the road.
I don't think there was anything that we were doing that would provoke the police.
No, you're not trying. You're trying to do everything you can to disrupt traffic, and now you're going to pay a low price.
This group of bicyclists is part of a movement called Critical Mass. They normally ride in mass through the streets of Pittsburgh to exercise their rights as vehicles on the road. Usually, there's no problem. But on this Friday night in East Liberty, police reacted.
Apparently an officer on his way back to the station encountered this rather large group of bicyclists who weren't obeying the law and were obstructing traffic. I guess he ordered them to get to the side of the road, and they decided not to comply. Therefore, at least 5 of them were being cited.
What the you advised me to do?
Oh, you don't care what the Why don't you come over here, too? Come on over here.
I'd rather not. I'm fine right here.
Come on over here.
I'm fine right here.
I'm telling you, give an official order to come here. You're going to come here, and you're going to give a how's that?
Excuse me, sir? Is this normal for a traffic violation?
But I have no idea what's going on.
I'm sorry, just trying to find out.
I felt this arm grabbing me, and he told me I had to stay, and I was detained.
And what laws were being violated?
Besides the vehicle, we're not charging them with the vehicle code, but we are charging them with disorderly conduct. They could also be charged with failure to obey. They ride through here every Friday, but not this large of a group.
The scene was chaotic because the bicyclists said they weren't expecting a confrontation. In fact, most of them consider Critical Mass to be a celebration, a party atmosphere.
My name is Colin Leonard, and I'm here today to ride for fun.
Earlier in the evening, that's the way it all started.
It's kind of like a family thing in a way, just because you're riding with all your friends.
It's kind of a celebration of bike culture and also a little bit of an advocacy to make ourselves known on the streets.
Critical Mass meets the last Friday of every month by the Big Brontosaurus by Carnegie Library.
The streets are full of cars, and the cars, though more than they used to be, they're not that used to bicyclists.
You can't really ride a bike in Pittsburgh and not have this be at least something of a political act.
For a group that describes itself as being loosely organized, reactions to the intent of Critical Mass run the gamut.
I don't really see this as a protest. We usually try to keep politics out of it.
Just a bunch of people getting together and riding. Yeah. No real cause except for to mess up traffic sometimes, but just fun stuff to do.
It is a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It can be a political act. It can be just a fun thing to do. It can be kind of a social stop-off point for the rest of the evening.
And when this evening ended, some of the cyclists felt they'd proved a point. about why drivers need to better understand the needs of people who ride bikes. A lot of people in cars didn't know they'd been through a critical mass or what that even means.
Maybe we should be doing a little more to say, hey, this is what it is.
Do you understand it? No, you're not going to have any of it. Leave.
And the police? They reminded those taking part in the critical mass that a bicyclist has to obey the same traffic laws as any other vehicle.
And the bicyclists are real quick to point out how they're endangered by the behavior of other drivers, but they always seem to neglect the wrongdoing that they're often guilty of.
How do you think this might all be resolved?
In court, when they get fined, if they realize that they can ride down the street, but they have responsibilities like every other driver.
Still, these bicycle riders plan to ride again next month as usual. And they'll continue to ride as a critical mass.
Just shows that, the bicyclists have rights too.
The whole thing with the cops telling us to disperse, like where were we gonna go? I mean, we got in trouble for riding our bikes. That's how we were gonna leave.
I think he could have been much more calm, but I think he was angry, and that happens a lot of times. I mean, it's hard. I'm sure it's hard if you're in a position of the cop.
I don't think that kind of police force was necessary, and I don't think he had any right to do what he did. So I would happily take a stand and get a citation or get arrested or what have you to make a statement that this is nonsense and I'm not going to stand for it. I'll absolutely be riding at the next critical mass next month.
Well, in all, 5 people were cited and a minor was also arrested. Now, Pittsburgh's Critical Mass Group is advising that anyone with a complaint about the incident should direct it to Pittsburgh's Citizen Police Review Board.